All right, folks, welcome back to Lakers Latest, coming to you from Studio City. Again, this is a nighttime edition, so it's about 68 degrees out. Not too hot, very brisk. It feels wonderful after the hot LA day. It was about 84 today, so we're definitely getting up there. It's been a cooler summer, but not really much more you could ask for, especially since it hasn't been too crazy hot. But let's get right into it. First thing on the docket, we got Thin Luka. There's nothing I enjoy more than the crazy offseason workouts of the Ben Simmons hitting threes and all these guys are doing things they aren't doing. This, I guess, is Luka's own version of it. Now, obviously, his weight, especially from all the things we heard and we've read, kind of definitely played a part in his departure in Dallas. Obviously, Nico Harrison, who's just a clown. But obviously, he was concerned to the point where they were thinking about giving Luka that second contract, and he didn't want to for whatever reason because Luka's weight, even though the accomplishments that Luka had to this point to his date are some of the most unbelievable accomplishments that you could ever see of someone by that age. You know, the first teams obviously doesn't have an MVP yet, but you know, all those the playoffs, like he's averaged 20 on 30 game in the playoffs, like he's just done unbelievable things for how young he is. And Nico Harrison still jettisoning him off to the Lakers. And partly because his conditioning. His conditioning was something that, and this isn't something to Nico Harrison. There's been rumblings about this even before Nico Harrison got rid of him. I don't think there was ever rumblings to the point where you actually thought he was going to get traded, which is, again, one of the most craziest trades we've ever seen. But there have been rumblings of that, so it's not something that wasn't kind of came out of nowhere. It was just a crazy thing that happened, the trade, obviously. But yeah, no, he graces the cover of Men's Health. He looks very good while doing it. He looks like he's in fantastic shape. I don't know if this was big FU to Nico Harrison or if he just wanted to do this for fun. But obviously good for Luka. It's great to see him in shape. I think he's got a full off season now where he can get in shape, work on himself, and then come in hopefully early and really build that bond and build that chemistry with his teammates since he obviously came here in January. I don't know, it was January last year. And obviously he was out for a couple of games too, but you really want to see him build that chemistry with his teammates. But it's great to see him in shape. That's exactly what we want to see from Luka. He's obviously motivated. Obviously, he's not going to be happy with how last year ended. I don't think any of us are. I don't think anyone at the Lakers are. I don't think any of the players are. Any of the coaches. Certainly not upper management. There's a certain standard when you're the Lakers, and especially finishing where they did. You really thought that, okay, we're going to make this run. They don't. And Luka now has that full off season. He looks in great shape. He looks ready to go. He's got that revenge body. He's ready for round two. So yeah, it's great. It's just great to see Luka in that shape. Hopefully, he keeps working on it, keeps sticking out, and has maybe the best year of his career. But that's exactly what you want to see from Luka. So we'll see what happens. All right, now let's go on to the next thing. We love talking about Bronny. Obviously, the most popular 55th draft pick in the history of the NBA for good reasons. LeBron James' son. We knew they were going to draft him. All that. Obviously, you almost feel bad for Bronny in an aspect just because the microscope has been on him his entire life. But especially when he comes to the Lakers and he's playing under his dad, you're going to get all these people that are going to criticize you, and anytime he has a bad game, say all this. But I think we just need to keep things linear with Bronny's progression. Obviously, like, no one is out or under the assumption like, oh, this is Bronny James. He's going to be a superstar in today's game. He's going to come out. He's going to be a difference maker on this team, like six man of the year, right out no, that's not going to happen. I think the hope for him, if all goes well, is that he can develop into a solid role player. If he hits his peak, maybe he can become a starter. But I think it's slow steps. You got to take it one step at a time. Right now, obviously the Lakers are contending for a championship unless he has a phenomenal preseason and training camp, which I'm not saying he can't. Just certainly not something I'm expecting right out the gate for him to push back some of the guys on the team. But you just want to see that progression with him. You want to see him keep working on his game, which is exactly what we saw in Summer League. He looked very solid in Summer League, way better than last year. He almost looked like a completely different player. Obviously, shot 27% from the field from three, I think. Close, I think it was 47%. from the field, not from three. But you saw really solid progression in him. He looked better. Even he had, a decent amount of turnovers, but everyone does in summer league. But you just want to keep seeing that progression to the point where you can feel comfortable saying when you put him on the floor, he can play solid NBA minutes as a role player. We will see if he gets there. But I think all the tools are there. Like, obviously, in college, it was such a weird with the cardiac arrest and that whole thing. Um, and that's obviously no one his age is ever going to expect to be in that situation. So he had to build his way back. So you look at his college stats, you'd probably be like, oh, this guy stinks, but I don't think it's really indicative of his talent. He never really had a chance to get his feet under him, started behind. So, but you've seen the talent. Like, you see the athleticism. You see it when he drives to the basket. He can pass. He can do all these things, just not really at an NBA level yet. So I certainly expect him to be with the team, especially when there's a very good chance that this could be LeBron's last year, at least with the Lakers. But at the same time, I think it's important that he spends a good chunk of time with the South Bay Lakers, so that way he's just focusing on his development. Because at the end of the day, like, LeBron is like, this is going to be his last year, and next year is going to be his last year. Like, once LeBron retires, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm on dad's team or I'm on my father's team. Like, it's going to be like, okay, this is your career now. You're going to make of it what you make of it. If you want it, you got to work hard for it. If you don't, then, you got something to fall back on. But yeah, it's going to be up to Bronny if he really wants to take that next step, where potentially being part of a role player for a team. But Summer League was a good start. It was definitely a good start. Um, all right, so what to expect from Adou Thiero? So this is an interesting one. Obviously, he didn't play in summer league. This is the Lakers' second round pick. Very talented player, super explosive, super athletic. Not really a great shooter, wildly inconsistent. He could do it, but it's not. You're not putting him in there to be like a sniper 3-point shooter. Really talented defensive player, very long, 6'8", long wingspan. Last year he played excuse me, Kentucky, where he didn't do too much his first 2 years. Then he transferred to Arkansas with John Calipari when he went there. At 15 points, 5.8 rebounds, 1.9 assists, zero point 0.7 blocks, 1.6 steals on 54% from the field, 25% from three. And I feel like that's pretty indicative of his game. The 54%, he can go to the basket, he can do these things, but you don't really want him to be that spot-up shooter. Occasionally, now and then, he can do it, but that's not his game. I think the big he will have a chance to contribute to the team this year. I think he just needs to do what he does best, which is play strong defense, get hands in passing lanes, play straight up defense when you're one-on-one with someone. Rebound, he's very athletic. He can get offensive rebounds. He can do those things. Get your hand in passing lanes. Those are going to be the things that will get him playing time if he's going to get playing time. And I think, obviously, it was kind of a bummer he didn't play in Summer League. But it will be exciting to see how, he starts training camp, and then especially to see how he plays in preseason, where he's obviously going to get more of a run to show what he can do than he would in the regular season, unless he hopefully shows that talent and shows, the reasons you drafted him early in the second round. But yeah, I think he's definitely going to have a chance to contribute to this team. Obviously, he's not going to be a superstar right away, but when you look, especially with second rounders in the NBA, obviously there's certain instances, the Nikola Jokic's, the Jalen Brunsons, Draymond Greens, where you're going to be able to find an all-star, a future Hall of Famer, but comes along once every 15, 20 years and almost feels like you got to luck into it. So with second rounders, you're kind of just looking for guys that can contribute. Do they have an NBA skill that can translate? Are they guys that can be good role players? And I think he can. I think, again, it's not going to be something where he's going to be playing 15 to 20 minutes right out the gate, or even this season. Maybe it's just 10 every now and then, except pinching in with the injuries, which inevitably will happen. So he's an interesting one. He's definitely a pretty solid second round prospect. I think he's a guy who can definitely push for playing time. But obviously we didn't see him in summer league, so it'll be definitely exciting to see him, especially in preseason. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on him. I think one thing you would like to see is maybe him improve that shot a little bit, but at the same time, it's not his game. It's never going to be his game. Obviously, it was 25% shooting last year. Maybe you'd love to see that even get over 30%, even if it's like close to. If you can get anywhere from 33 to 35, that would be amazing. But just like if you can start, maybe slow steps, maybe second, third, fourth year, he's a better shooter. But don't rush it too much. Just get better at the things you need to get better at, and keep doing what you do, what he does best with the energy, the defense, the athleticism. All those things are the things that will be the reasons if he gets playing time. They're going to be the reasons he does. All right, so let's finish it off. We got Lakers legends. What more Lakers role player legends or close to all-star legends? I think obviously, I did the random Lakers, which are super fun. I can do that whenever. I love throwing the random guys out there, but it's also fun to give appreciation to the elite role players and the six man and just other solid guys out there. So I had a couple guys here that just off the top of my head. I think first Lamar Odom, just a consummate role player, six man of the year, does a little bit of everything, can handle the ball, can bring the ball to the court at 6'9". So talented, one of the most talented college players you'd ever see coming out of Rhode Island. Just a little bit of everything. Obviously, he had a lot of off-court issues. So, but thankfully, figured that stuff out. But when he was on, I mean, he was just an elite six man. Could do it all. Just so much fun to watch when he had it going. He was great. I love Lamar. And then this is gonna be the last non-star. I just shout out Powell. It doesn't really count because he was a star for the Lakers, but that was just one of the biggest trades in Laker history. So he is a star, but just wanted to say shout out Powell. Love you. Rick Fox, love Rick Fox on the just a great role player on those teams that won back-to-back championships. Gotta love that beard. Oh man, what is it? The gray commercials, where he's doing that. Slick Rick, good looking guy, doing his thing. Just a fun all around player. Exactly the type of role player you're looking for. And this is just a personal favorite, Ronny Turiaf. I just love that dude. Run around, he gave you everything. He'd be blocking shots left and right. He'd be getting the crowd going, and he was there for some good times, but also some rough times. So you gotta give a appreciation to him. And then Shannon Brown, shout out. I think we can all remember just an insane dunker. But I think early in his career it was like, oh, all this guy can do is dunk. He can't do anything else. But then he really worked his way up into like a really solid role player where he could shoot. He could score a little bit. Obviously, he had those exhilarating dunks during those with those teams. But he was another personal favorite of mine. I remember just watching him do some insane dunks. It almost felt like he was one of the first ones that started doing that in that era. But yeah, those are all the guys off the top of my head. I can go back more and more, but those are just the top 5 guys I've circled. But yeah, that's what I got it. That's it for me tonight, folks. I will catch you later. But for now, until next time, I'll see you guys. I'm out.